I have more respect for a man who lets me know where he stands, even if he's wrong.
We always say in the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
New Nubian. Civic Responsibility, Leadership, and Ethics. Presented by Dr. Jonah Sanders. Course Objectives. To cultivate ethical leadership and a strong sense of civic responsibility in youth by exploring ethical decision-making, community engagement, and respect for laws and shared spaces. Course Outline. Module 1, Foundations of Ethical Leadership. Module 2, Volunteering and Community Engagement. Module 3, Respect for Law, Rules, and Shared Spaces. Module 4, Review and Reflection. Course Syllabus. Module Topic Time Learning Objectives. 1. Ethical Leadership Principles and Dilemmas 20 minutes Understand and apply ethical decision-making. 2. Community Engagement Volunteering and Impact 20 minutes Develop strategies for civic participation. 3. Respect for Law and Spaces Social Contracts and Respect 15 minutes Promote respect and responsibility in community. 4. Review and Reflection Summary and Sharing 5 minutes Commit to ethical leadership and service. Module 1. Foundations of Ethical Leadership. Introduction to Ethical Leadership. Ethical leadership means guiding others based on respect for values and moral principles. It involves honesty, fairness, and integrity in decision-making and behavior. Ethical leaders inspire trust and influence others positively, not through authority but by example. This module will help you understand the foundation of what makes leadership truly ethical. What is ethics? Ethics is a set of moral principles that govern a person's behavior. It involves understanding right and wrong, fairness, justice, and respect for others. In leadership, ethics influences every decision, action, and communication. Ethical decisions are not always easy, but they are always important for long-term success. Personal values versus ethical standards. Values are personal beliefs about what is important. Ethical standards are societal rules about right and wrong. A good leader aligns personal values with ethical standards to maintain integrity. For example, a leader who values honesty must also adhere to laws against fraud and corruption. Components of character in leadership. Character is the moral foundation of leadership. Key components include integrity, honesty, fairness, responsibility, courage. Without these, a leader may have power but lack moral authority, which damages trust and long-term influence. Why character matters in leadership. Character is what people trust and follow. A leader with good character sets the tone for the entire team or organization. When leaders demonstrate accountability, humility, and empathy, others are more likely to emulate those traits, creating a healthier workplace culture. Traits of ethical leaders. Ethical leaders typically share these qualities: transparency, consistency, humility, respect for others, commitment to fairness. They act ethically not just when it's easy, but especially when it's difficult. These traits are developed through reflection and practice. The link between ethics and leadership success. Studies show that ethical leadership is linked to better employee morale, trust, and long-term performance. Unethical leaders may achieve short-term gains, but they risk damaging reputations and relationships. Ethical leadership ensures sustainable success and strong team cohesion. Ethical leadership in practice, a story. Consider a manager who discovered a mistake in financial reporting that could hurt profits. Instead of hiding it, they reported it to the board, risking their position. This honesty built trust with stakeholders and reinforced a culture of integrity in the organization. Misconceptions about ethics in leadership. Some believe that ethics slow down progress or are optional. In reality, ethical leadership enhances credibility and decision-making. Ethics are not about being perfect but about doing what's right, even when it's hard or unpopular. Cultural perspectives on ethics. Ethical standards may vary across cultures, but some values are universal, like honesty and fairness. Leaders in global organizations must understand both local customs and universal ethical principles. This helps them lead with sensitivity and respect. The role of trust in ethical leadership. Trust is earned through consistent ethical behavior. Once lost, it's hard to rebuild. Ethical leaders build trust by keeping promises, acting transparently, and showing empathy. Trust is the foundation of every effective team or relationship. Ethics versus compliance. Compliance means following laws and rules. Ethics goes beyond compliance to include what is morally right. A leader may comply with a law and still act unethically. True leadership requires both compliance and moral responsibility. Reflection activity, your ethical role models. Think about a leader you admire. What ethical qualities did they show? Was it honesty, fairness, or accountability? Write down 3 qualities and 1 example of how they demonstrated them. This helps you identify traits to develop in your own leadership journey. Developing ethical awareness. Ethical awareness begins with reflection. Ask yourself, are my actions fair? Would I want others to do the same? Can I explain my decision confidently? These questions can guide leaders toward ethical choices in challenging situations. Summary of ethics and character in leadership. To be an ethical leader, you must understand your values, uphold moral standards, and consistently demonstrate good character. Ethical leadership begins with self-awareness and grows through responsibility and trust building. This is the core of sustainable and respected leadership. Introduction to ethical decision-making. Ethical decisions often involve complex situations where values may conflict. Leaders must be able to analyze problems clearly, consider the consequences, and choose actions that are fair, honest, and respectful. Ethical decision-making is both a skill and a responsibility. The decision-making framework. A common ethical decision-making process includes: recognize the issue, gather information, evaluate options, consider consequences, make the decision, reflect and learn. This framework helps leaders navigate complex situations with confidence. Utilitarian approach. This principle focuses on outcomes. The best decision is one that brings the most benefit to the most people. While helpful, this approach can overlook the rights of individuals. Leaders must use it carefully and balance it with other principles. Rights-based approach. This approach protects individual rights, such as freedom of speech or privacy. A leader using this approach asks, does this action respect everyone's rights? It ensures that decisions don't harm basic human dignity, even if the majority benefits. Justice and fairness. Fairness means treating people equally or proportionately. Leaders should ensure that rewards, punishments, and opportunities are distributed fairly. Ask, would I be okay if I were in the other person's position? Virtue ethics. Virtue ethics focuses on character. It asks, what would an honest, kind, or courageous person do in this situation? It's less about rules and more about living in a way that reflects strong moral character. Transparency in decision-making. Leaders should explain the reasoning behind their decisions. This builds trust and reduces the chance of misunderstanding. Transparency shows that decisions are not personal or biased but rooted in principles and facts. Considering stakeholders. Ethical decisions affect many people, employees, clients, the public. Leaders must consider how each group is impacted. Ignoring key stakeholders can lead to unethical outcomes or damaged relationships. Common ethical dilemmas in leadership. Leaders often face choices like favoring a top performer who broke rules, cutting costs in a way that affects employees, hiding bad news from the public. Each of these requires ethical reflection and courage. Emotional versus rational decisions. Emotions can cloud judgment. While feelings like empathy are important, leaders must balance them with logic and fairness. Training and reflection help develop emotional intelligence and ethical reasoning. Peer pressure and organizational culture. Sometimes leaders are pressured to go along with unethical practices. Ethical leadership means resisting that pressure and setting a higher standard, even when it's unpopular or difficult. Tools to support ethical decisions. Organizations may provide codes of conduct, ethics hotlines, decision-making guides. These tools can help leaders make choices aligned with both policy and moral responsibility. Ethical blind spots. Leaders may unknowingly make unethical decisions due to biases or habits. Regular self-checks, feedback, and ethical training help uncover and address blind spots. Reflection exercise, ethical scenario. Imagine your company wants to lay off older employees to cut costs. Is that fair? Who is affected? What alternatives exist? Reflect on what principles should guide your decision. Summary of ethical decision-making. Ethical decision-making requires more than just good intentions. It involves critical thinking, stakeholder awareness, and commitment to fairness. By using clear frameworks and staying true to your values, you can make decisions that build trust and uphold integrity. The power of role modeling. Leaders are constantly observed. What they say and do becomes the standard for others. Ethical leaders model the behavior they expect from others, creating a culture of trust and responsibility. Your actions speak louder than rules or training programs. Leading by example. Leaders influence more through behavior than words. A leader who values punctuality arrives on time. One who values respect listens carefully. Leading by example means practicing the values you promote, even when no one is watching. Why role modeling matters. People copy what they see in leadership. If leaders act ethically, team members are likely to do the same. Role modeling builds credibility and moral authority. Unethical leaders destroy trust, even if they say the right things. Daily habits of ethical role models. Keeping promises. Admitting mistakes. Treating everyone with fairness. Listening actively. Avoiding gossip or unethical shortcuts. These habits reinforce a leader's integrity and influence team behavior consistently. Role models in history. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, and Mother Teresa showed how personal ethics can change the world. Their leadership was based on sacrifice, integrity, and consistent ethical behavior, inspiring millions. Holding yourself accountable. Ethical leaders don't just demand accountability from others, they model it themselves. This includes admitting when they are wrong, being open to feedback, and making amends. Accountability is not weakness, it's leadership strength. The cycle of responsibility. Accountability creates a cycle. Set expectations. Take responsibility. Reflect on outcomes. Learn and improve. This cycle promotes growth and ethical maturity in both individuals and teams. Accountability versus blame. Holding someone accountable is about learning and improving, not punishing. Ethical leaders focus on solutions, not shame. They use mistakes as opportunities to teach and lead, not to criticize or divide. Organizational accountability. Leaders must create systems where ethics are supported at all levels. This includes clear codes of conduct, open-door policies, safe reporting channels. An ethical culture starts from the top but must be built into everyday operations. Encouraging accountability in teams. Leaders can promote accountability by setting clear standards, giving regular feedback, rewarding ethical behavior, discussing consequences honestly. When people know what's expected and feel supported, they're more likely to take responsibility. Transparency and trust. When leaders are transparent, they encourage trust. Explaining decisions, owning outcomes, and being honest even in failure builds team loyalty and respect. Trust cannot be demanded, it must be earned through consistent, ethical action. Annual role modeling in crisis. In times of crisis, people look to leaders for guidance. Ethical leaders remain calm, honest, and solution-focused. How you act under pressure shows your true character and sets the tone for others. Peer-to-peer role modeling. Leadership isn't just top-down. Team members also influence each other. Ethical teams support one another in doing the right thing, speaking up, and staying true to shared values, even when leaders are not around. Self-assessment checklist. Do I lead by example? Do I admit when I'm wrong? Do I hold others accountable fairly? Do I reward ethical behavior? Use this checklist regularly to reflect and grow as an ethical leader. Summary of role modeling and accountability. Ethical leadership means showing others the right path by walking it yourself. Through consistent role modeling and holding yourself accountable, you build a foundation of trust, respect, and high standards that influence everyone around you. Introduction to ethical dilemmas. Ethical dilemmas occur when two or more values conflict, when doing one right thing may require compromising another. Leaders must carefully analyze these situations to make decisions aligned with core values and responsibilities. Case Study Overview. Scenario: a marketing manager discovers that a successful campaign contains misleading claims. Fixing it would mean losing clients and facing embarrassment. Keeping it might hurt customers and risk public backlash. What should they do? Step 1. Identify the ethical conflict. The conflict: honesty versus profit. Is it ethical to mislead customers to maintain business? Who will be harmed if the truth is hidden? Leaders must clearly name the ethical tension before acting. Step 2. Stakeholder impact. Who is affected? Customers misled by the campaign. Employees who may lose jobs if revenue drops. Company reputation. The leader's personal integrity. All these must be considered before deciding. Step 3. Apply decision-making models. Using the rights-based approach, misleading customers is unethical. Using utilitarianism, fixing the error may hurt in the short term but builds long-term trust. The leader must consider both principles and outcomes. Step 4. Choose an ethical course. A recommended ethical action. Correct the campaign immediately. Publicly acknowledge the mistake. Offer remedies or compensation. Use the situation to reinforce ethical values in the team. Case reflection, outcomes. After the campaign is corrected, the company may lose a few clients. But they gain respect from customers, employees, and the industry. Internal trust increases. Long-term gains outweigh short-term loss. This reinforces the power of ethical leadership. Common workplace dilemmas. Promoting an underqualified friend. Ignoring unethical behavior by a high performer. Falsifying reports to avoid criticism. These situations challenge ethical courage. Discussing such dilemmas openly prepares teams for real-life choices. Group activity, analyze a dilemma. Split into teams. Each team receives a short ethical scenario. Discuss. What are the conflicting values? Who is affected? What action should the leader take? This activity builds ethical thinking skills and collaboration. Lessons learned from case studies. Case studies offer real-world complexity, practice in moral reasoning, a safe space to learn. Analyzing ethical dilemmas sharpens leadership awareness and builds readiness to handle real decisions. Ethical decision pitfalls to avoid. Justifying unethical actions with good intentions. Ignoring small issues until they grow. Letting pressure override values. Believing everyone does it. Being aware of these helps leaders stay grounded in principles. Courage and ethical leadership. It takes courage to choose the ethical path, especially when it involves risk, resistance, or change. Courageous leaders speak up, take action, and inspire others, even when the road is hard. This is the essence of ethical leadership. Review, ethical dilemma key takeaways. Ethics isn't always black and white. Consider people, principles, and consequences. Use a framework to guide decisions. Lead with transparency and courage. Ethical dilemmas test, reveal, and strengthen true leadership. Final case reflection. Think of a time when you or someone you know faced an ethical dilemma. What happened? What values were in conflict? What was the outcome? Reflecting on real experiences deepens understanding and prepares you to lead ethically. Closing thoughts and reflection. Ethical leadership is not about being perfect, it's about making choices rooted in values, modeling integrity, and staying accountable. It requires courage, reflection, and practice. As you continue your leadership journey, remember, the ethical path is not always easy, but it is always right. Module 2. Volunteering and Community Engagement. Introduction to Volunteering and Community Engagement. Volunteering and civic participation are powerful ways to give back and strengthen communities. They allow individuals to contribute time, energy, and skills for a collective good. This module explores the value of service, ways to get involved, and how to make a lasting impact through community action. What is civic engagement? Civic engagement means taking action to address issues of public concern. It includes voting, volunteering, attending town meetings, and organizing local initiatives. Being engaged helps citizens influence decisions, improve lives, and strengthen democracy by ensuring all voices are heard and respected. Why giving back matters. When we give back to our communities, we build trust, support those in need, and promote social connection. Volunteering helps reduce inequality, improve mental health, and create a sense of purpose. Giving back is not just charity, it's a responsibility we all share. Benefits of volunteering for individuals. Increases empathy and self-esteem. Builds leadership and communication skills. Provides career experience. Reduces stress and loneliness. Offers new friendships and networks. Volunteering is a two-way street. You help others and grow personally. Volunteering and youth development. Young people who volunteer are more likely to stay in school, avoid risky behavior, and develop strong civic values. Encouraging youth to participate in community projects builds responsible citizens and future leaders. Early engagement creates lifelong habits of service. Volunteering and social justice. Volunteering plays a crucial role in addressing inequality. Whether you're tutoring underserved children or organizing food drives, your actions help reduce systemic barriers. Civic action becomes a path to fairness and justice when it empowers marginalized communities. Civic responsibility in action. Participating in cleanups, joining advocacy groups, or even attending public forums helps you practice civic responsibility. Every voice matters, and active citizens can influence change. The health of a society depends on engaged individuals working for the common good. Building a culture of service. When volunteering becomes part of a community's culture, people begin to see service as a shared duty. Families, schools, and workplaces can all promote volunteerism by creating regular opportunities and celebrating community involvement as a core value. Volunteering and national identity. In many countries, community service is tied to national pride. Citizens serve not just to help others, but to contribute to a stronger, more united society. Serving others is a way of showing love for one's country and future. Global impact of volunteering. Volunteers worldwide support healthcare, disaster relief, education, and human rights. Whether it's helping refugees or building schools, global volunteering connects people across cultures and creates a shared sense of humanity and responsibility. Volunteering in crisis situations. During natural disasters or pandemics, volunteers become lifelines. They distribute food, provide emotional support, or deliver essential services. Volunteering in times of crisis demonstrates solidarity and compassion in the face of uncertainty and fear. How communities benefit. Communities with high volunteer involvement experience greater resilience, improved social cohesion, stronger local networks, increased access to resources. These communities are more likely to thrive and recover from challenges together. Civic participation beyond volunteering. Besides volunteering, civic participation includes voting, advocacy and protests, participating in community boards, public speaking or media campaigns. All forms of participation matter and allow citizens to help shape their communities. Personal reflection. Think about your community. What needs or challenges exist? Could your time or skills help address them? Reflecting on these questions helps you identify your civic role and how you can make a difference. Summary: the power of civic engagement. Volunteering and civic participation empower individuals to serve, advocate, and lead. Whether helping a neighbor or joining a national campaign, your efforts contribute to stronger communities, better societies, and a fairer world. Introduction to volunteer opportunities. Volunteering comes in many forms. From local efforts to global missions, opportunities exist for people of all interests, skills, and ages. Whether you're passionate about education, the environment, or healthcare, there's a place where your contributions matter. Direct service volunteering. This type includes hands-on help like serving meals, cleaning public spaces, mentoring youth, assisting in hospitals. It involves direct contact with those being served and creates immediate impact. Indirect service volunteering. These roles support causes behind the scenes. Fundraising, grant writing, website design, event planning. Although less visible, these efforts are essential to the success of many nonprofit organizations. Advocacy and policy volunteering. Volunteers can also create change by raising awareness and influencing policy. This includes organizing petitions, campaigning for social issues, hosting awareness events, educating others through workshops. This kind of service leads to long-term systemic change. Virtual volunteering. With technology, you can volunteer online by translating documents, offering online tutoring, managing social media for causes, creating digital content. This is perfect for those with busy schedules or mobility challenges. Environmental volunteering. Help the planet by planting trees, participating in cleanup drives, running recycling programs, supporting wildlife conservation. Environmental volunteering connects people with nature and promotes sustainability. Education and youth support. Volunteers in education can tutor students, assist in classrooms, support after-school programs, run youth mentorship groups. This helps bridge learning gaps and inspires young minds to succeed. Health and wellness volunteering. Examples include assisting at health clinics, supporting mental health helplines, promoting public health campaigns, helping patients navigate care systems. This type of volunteering contributes to healthier communities. Disaster relief and emergency support. Volunteers provide critical services during emergencies, distributing food and water, helping with rescue operations, providing shelter, offering emotional support. These roles require training, but they save lives and restore hope. Volunteering abroad. International programs allow people to teach in rural schools, build infrastructure, assist in humanitarian missions. Volunteering abroad fosters global understanding and cross-cultural skills. How to start volunteering. Identify your interests and skills. Research local or online opportunities. Contact the organization. Commit to a schedule. Show up and stay engaged. Starting is often the hardest step, but also the most rewarding. Finding opportunities near you. Look for options through local NGOs and nonprofits, religious institutions, school or university clubs, online platforms like idealist.org or Volunteer Match. Ask friends and neighbors for suggestions, they may already be involved. What makes a good volunteer? Key qualities: reliability, positive attitude, willingness to learn, respect for others, team spirit. Volunteering is a commitment. Approach it with professionalism and heart. Overcoming barriers to volunteering. Common barriers include lack of time, transportation issues, fear of inadequacy, not knowing where to start. Solutions: try virtual roles, start small, ask friends to join, or explore flexible opportunities. Summary: exploring volunteer paths. Whether you work behind the scenes, engage directly, or advocate for change, your contribution matters. Volunteering is diverse, flexible, and accessible to all. The key is to start and stay open to learning and growing. Introduction to community partnerships. Volunteering becomes more effective when individuals and organizations work together. Partnerships combine resources, knowledge, and reach, enabling long-term community impact. Whether you're collaborating with a school, NGO, or local business, partnerships turn good intentions into meaningful outcomes. Why partnerships matter. Partnerships amplify your impact. They allow sharing of resources and funding, access to wider audiences, strengthening local leadership, more sustainable results. Strong partnerships build trust and increase efficiency in community efforts. Types of community partners. Nonprofit organizations, schools and universities, government agencies, religious institutions, local businesses. Each partner brings unique strengths. Choosing the right mix depends on your goals and the needs of the community. Building trust with partners. Trust is the foundation of any partnership. To build it, communicate openly. Respect different opinions. Honor commitments. Be consistent and transparent. Trust allows for collaboration, problem solving, and shared decision making. Shared vision and goals. Successful partnerships begin with a shared vision. All parties should agree on the purpose of the project, the target community, roles and responsibilities, expected outcomes. This alignment avoids confusion and fosters unity. Clear roles and responsibilities. Define who does what. Use a written agreement or action plan to assign tasks. When roles are clear, teams can operate more smoothly, and accountability is easier to maintain. Communication strategies. Strong partnerships require regular communication. Tools include weekly meetings, email updates, shared calendars, progress reports. Keeping everyone informed helps identify challenges early and celebrate success together. Managing conflicts in partnerships. Disagreements are natural. Handle them by listening actively, focusing on shared goals, addressing issues early, seeking compromise. Approaching conflict with respect keeps the partnership healthy. Leveraging partner strengths. Each partner has something valuable to offer. One may have volunteers, another may offer space, and another may provide funding. When partners focus on their strengths, the project becomes more effective and efficient. Measuring community impact. To understand your success, measure outcomes such as number of people served, improvement in community conditions, participant feedback, long-term behavior change. Evaluation helps partners refine their efforts and plan future projects. Sustainability through partnership. Short-term projects are helpful, but long-term impact requires sustainability. Partnerships create continuity and shared ownership, making it more likely that the effort will continue after volunteers leave. Case study, Community Health Fair. A local university partners with a health NGO and city hospital to host a free health fair. Students volunteer, doctors provide services, and the NGO promotes it in the neighborhood. Result, hundreds receive care and health awareness increases. Youth as partnership leaders. Young people can lead successful partnerships by reaching out to organizations, pitching project ideas, coordinating communication, documenting progress. Youth leadership builds confidence and shows that age is not a barrier to impact. Challenges in partnership building. Common challenges include misaligned goals, poor communication, lack of follow-through, power imbalance. Recognizing these issues early allows teams to respond with clarity and fairness. Summary: partnership and impact. Partnerships transform good ideas into real change. By combining skills, sharing responsibility, and building trust, community efforts become more powerful and sustainable. The true impact comes not just from working hard, but from working together. Introduction to project planning. Now it's your turn to lead. You will brainstorm, plan, and design a community service project. This activity helps you apply everything you've learned, from identifying needs to building partnerships and measuring impact. Step 1. Identify a community need. Ask yourself, what challenges does your community face? What group could benefit from support? Examples: youth lacking mentors, polluted public spaces, or elderly residents feeling isolated. Step 2. Define your goal. A clear goal keeps your project focused. Use the SMART format. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Example: clean and plant 50 trees in our neighborhood park within 3 months. Step 3. Form your team. No one succeeds alone. Recruit people with diverse skills and interests. Define roles. Project leader. Communications. Logistics. Outreach. Teamwork increases motivation and divides the workload fairly. Step 4. Partner with organizations. Think of groups who can help. NGOs, schools, local businesses, government departments. Contact them with a short proposal and explain how collaboration can benefit all parties. Step 5. Design your activities. Break the project into smaller tasks. Planning meetings, publicity campaigns, volunteer recruitment, implementation days. This timeline helps keep your team on track and builds momentum. Step 6. Gather materials and resources. Create a checklist of what you need. Tools and equipment. Educational materials. Volunteer support. Transportation and safety gear. Plan a small budget if needed, and explore donations or in-kind support. Step 7. Promote your project. Use flyers, social media, school bulletins, and word of mouth. Make your message clear. What the project is. When and where it happens. Why it matters. Excitement attracts volunteers and community support. Step 8. Implement the project. Set a date and follow your plan. Ensure safety, delegate tasks, and keep the team energized. Document the event with photos or testimonials to celebrate your effort and share impact afterward. Step 9. Evaluate and reflect. After the project, ask: what went well? What challenges came up? How many people did we help? Reflecting helps improve future projects and celebrates learning and growth. Sample project, Food for All Drive. Goal: provide 200 food packs to low-income families in 1 week. Steps: partner with a supermarket. Collect donations. Recruit volunteers for packing and distribution. Impact: reduced hunger, raised awareness, strengthened community trust. Group activity prompt. Break into small teams. Plan a simple project using the 9 steps. Choose a real community issue, create a goal, define roles, and present your plan to the group. Peer feedback will help you refine your ideas. Group activity prompt. Break into small teams. Plan a simple project using the 9 steps. Choose a real community issue, create a goal, define roles, and present your plan to the group. Peer feedback will help you refine your ideas. Long-term vision. One project can spark a lifetime of civic action. Keep a journal of ideas, connect with mentors, and stay involved in your community. Leadership through service is a journey, not a one-time event. Closing thoughts on community engagement. Community engagement is about more than volunteering. It's about empathy, action, and commitment to something larger than yourself. When you give your time, voice, and heart, you help shape a better world, for others and for yourself. Module 3. Respect for law, rules, and shared spaces. Introduction to law and shared spaces. Respecting laws and community rules helps maintain peace, safety, and fairness. In this module, we'll explore how rules function as social contracts, why they matter, and how our actions contribute to or harm the communities we live in. What is a social contract? A social contract is an agreement among people in a society to follow rules that benefit everyone. We give up some personal freedoms, like speeding on roads, in exchange for protection, order, and fairness. Laws are based on these shared understandings. Why societies need laws. Laws maintain order and protect rights. Without laws, communities could fall into chaos. They help prevent crime, set expectations, resolve disputes, promote equality. By following laws, we show respect for others and help build a safer society. Formal laws versus community rules. Laws are enforced by the government, e.g., traffic laws. Community rules are informal but important, e.g., library silence rules. Both reflect shared values and help people coexist peacefully in shared environments. Rules as tools for fairness. Rules are not meant to limit us, they ensure fairness. Imagine a game without rules, it would be chaotic. Rules provide structure, define responsibilities, and ensure that no one is unfairly treated or taken advantage of. Laws and democracy. In democratic societies, laws are created by representatives elected by the people. This means citizens have a voice. Respecting laws supports democracy. When people break laws without consequences, trust in the system is weakened. Citizenship and legal duties. Being a citizen means enjoying rights and accepting responsibilities. Legal duties include obeying laws, paying taxes, serving on juries, participating in civic life. Fulfilling these duties shows respect for the law and the society we live in. Rule of law, a foundation of justice. The rule of law means everyone, leaders, citizens, and organizations, is subject to the law. No one is above it. This principle ensures justice, prevents abuse of power, and protects human rights. Consequences of ignoring laws. When people ignore laws, communities become unsafe. Trust breaks down. Vulnerable groups suffer most. Even small violations can create bigger problems. Respecting the law helps maintain order and dignity for all. Respecting institutional rules. Schools, workplaces, and organizations have their own rules. Respecting them creates a positive environment, prevents conflict, promotes fairness. Ignoring these rules often results in penalties or exclusion. Youth and the law. Young people may feel distant from laws, but they are still affected. Laws about education, labor, curfew, and internet use are directly related to youth lives. Knowing your rights and responsibilities empowers you to act wisely. Balancing rights and responsibilities. Every right comes with a responsibility. For example, you have the right to free speech, but the responsibility not to spread hate. You have the right to education, but the responsibility to attend and learn. Balance ensures freedom with accountability. When rules feel unfair. Not all rules are perfect. However, there are ways to challenge unfair laws, through advocacy, petitions, and civic action. Breaking rules without trying to change them peacefully often leads to division or punishment. Everyday examples of respecting rules. Wearing helmets while biking. Not littering in public parks. Following school codes of conduct. Respecting quiet zones in libraries. These daily actions show whether we value cooperation and respect. Summary: laws as social agreements. Laws and community rules are not just restrictions, they are mutual agreements to live peacefully and fairly. Respecting them strengthens society, protects individual rights, and supports justice for everyone. Introduction to respect and responsibility. Respect and responsibility are values that build strong communities. They shape how we treat others and how we take care of our surroundings. When practiced consistently, they improve safety, harmony, and the overall well-being of society. Defining respect in community life. Respect means recognizing the value of others, regardless of differences. It includes listening without interrupting, using polite language, honoring shared spaces, accepting diversity. Respect fosters cooperation and reduces conflict in diverse societies. Responsibility in action. Responsibility is taking ownership of your actions and their impact on others. This means cleaning up after yourself, reporting problems, keeping promises, helping when needed. Responsible behavior ensures fairness and mutual support. Respect for authority and peers. Respect is shown not only to elders or leaders, but also to peers and juniors. It's shown when we follow school rules, support classmates, give others space to speak. This creates a culture of dignity and mutual support. Respecting diversity in the community. Communities are made up of people from different backgrounds. Respect includes valuing different beliefs, being inclusive, avoiding discrimination. This promotes peace and prevents exclusion or prejudice. Shared responsibility for public spaces. We all benefit from public places like parks, sidewalks, or restrooms. Shared responsibility means keeping these spaces clean, safe, accessible to all. Treating public areas with care ensures everyone can enjoy them. How respect reduces conflict. Most conflicts start from disrespect or misunderstanding. When people feel valued, they are less likely to argue or act aggressively. Respectful behavior prevents bullying, fights, and social tension. Role of responsibility in community safety. Being responsible means following traffic rules, reporting crime or danger, helping during emergencies. Everyone has a role in safety. When responsibility is shared, danger decreases and trust increases. Responsibility builds trust. Trust is the glue of communities. It grows when people do what they say, admit mistakes, care for others' needs. Without trust, cooperation breaks down, and conflict becomes more common. Personal choices, public effects. Even small actions, like not picking up after your pet, affect the larger community. Responsible choices multiply. If one person acts well, others are encouraged to do the same. This creates a ripple effect of good behavior. Community health and hygiene. Respect for rules about cleanliness prevents disease and promotes health. Examples include proper garbage disposal, washing hands, respecting public sanitation rules. Healthy communities are a result of collective responsibility. Environmental responsibility. Caring for the environment is a sign of respect for future generations. It involves conserving water, reducing plastic use, participating in cleanup drives. A clean environment reflects a responsible, caring community. Celebrating responsible citizenship. Communities can recognize and reward those who act with responsibility. Volunteer awards. Public recognition. School certificates. This encourages others and builds a culture of positive action. Role models of respect and responsibility. Look up to leaders who practice what they preach. Teachers, public servants, parents, and youth leaders can all model how to act respectfully and take ownership of their actions. Learn from their example. Summary: building respectful communities. When people treat each other with respect and take responsibility for their actions, communities thrive. These values lead to safety, trust, fairness, and a shared sense of belonging. What is conflict? Conflict is a natural part of human interaction. It happens when people have different needs, goals, or viewpoints. Conflicts can be small, disagreements among friends, or large, community disputes, but they all require respectful communication to resolve. Common causes of conflict. Conflicts often arise due to miscommunication, differing values, limited resources, unmet expectations. Recognizing these sources helps us prevent escalation and address problems calmly and effectively. The cost of unresolved conflict. When left unchecked, conflicts can cause damaged relationships, hostile environments, emotional stress, violence or exclusion. Conflict resolution is key to maintaining respectful, peaceful communities. Constructive versus destructive responses. Destructive: yelling, blaming, ignoring. Constructive: listening, staying calm, finding common ground. Choosing constructive responses leads to understanding, cooperation, and stronger relationships. Active listening skills. Listening is more than hearing. It means giving full attention, avoiding interruptions, reflecting and summarizing what was said. When people feel heard, they are more open to resolving issues. Using I statements in communication. Instead of blaming, use I statements. I feel upset when my ideas are ignored. This avoids blame and promotes honest sharing of emotions. It helps de-escalate tension and invites understanding. Steps in conflict resolution. Identify the problem. Listen to each other. Brainstorm solutions. Agree on next steps. Follow through. Each step promotes fairness and ensures all voices are heard. Staying calm during disagreements. Deep breathing, pausing before speaking, and choosing respectful words can prevent conflicts from escalating. Calm behavior encourages others to act thoughtfully, too. Mediation, getting help to resolve disputes. Sometimes, a neutral third party, mediator, is needed to help resolve disputes. Mediators help both sides express themselves and guide them toward fair compromise. Apologizing and forgiving. Apologizing shows responsibility and respect. Forgiveness helps move on and heal. Both are powerful tools for restoring peace and rebuilding trust. Conflict resolution in schools. Schools often teach peer mediation and conflict resolution programs. These help students manage disagreements constructively, build leadership skills, and reduce bullying. Conflict in community spaces. Disputes may happen in parks, markets, or online. These can be solved through respectful dialogue, clear rules, and community involvement in finding solutions. Communication across cultures. Respecting cultural differences helps avoid misunderstandings. Learn to adapt your communication style to be inclusive and patient with different perspectives. Practicing empathy. Empathy means putting yourself in another's shoes. When we understand others' feelings, we are more likely to act kindly and resolve disagreements peacefully. Summary: conflict and communication. Conflict is normal, but how we respond to it defines our character. With respectful, clear, and empathetic communication, we can turn conflict into opportunity for learning and connection. What are shared spaces? Shared spaces include parks, sidewalks, classrooms, waiting areas, and community centers. These are areas where everyone has a right to be, and everyone has a duty to care for them respectfully. Responsibilities in shared spaces. In public spaces, we must keep noise levels down, dispose of trash properly, avoid damaging property, respect others' time and presence. These habits protect the comfort and dignity of all. Everyday actions that show respect. Giving up a seat for someone elderly. Waiting your turn in line. Cleaning up after using a shared area. These small acts make a big difference in communal harmony. Discussion Prompt 1. Describe a time when you saw someone show respect in a shared space. What happened? How did it make others feel? What did you learn from that situation? Discussion Prompt 2. Have you ever seen someone disrespect a shared space, e.g., vandalism, loud music, littering? What were the consequences? What could have been done differently? Group reflection activity. Break into small groups. List 3 shared spaces in your community and brainstorm respectful practices for each. Share your lists with the class. Challenges in maintaining shared spaces. Some challenges include lack of awareness, poor maintenance, vandalism. Solutions require cooperation, rules, and enforcement by both citizens and authorities. Role of youth in respecting spaces. Young people can lead by organizing cleanup events, reporting damages, promoting awareness. Youth voices can inspire others to take pride in shared spaces. Community projects that promote respect. Examples include Adopt a Park programs, community mural painting, recycling campaigns. Such initiatives build ownership and reduce misuse of public areas. Digital shared spaces, online respect. Respect extends to virtual spaces. Practice good digital citizenship by avoiding hate speech, respecting privacy, being kind online. Digital spaces need respect just like physical ones. Group activity, design a poster. Create a poster encouraging people to respect a shared space, school hallway, park, bus stop, etc. Include rules and reasons why respect matters. Role-play scenarios. Act out these examples. Disposing trash after a picnic. Confronting someone playing loud music respectfully. Helping clean up a mess you didn't make. Reflect on how it felt to take respectful action. Creating a respect code. As a class or group, write a short respect code for your community. Include values, behaviors, and commitments you want everyone to follow in shared spaces. Making respect a habit. Respect isn't just for special occasions, it should be a daily habit. Start with small actions, stay consistent, and lead by example. It builds stronger, kinder, safer communities. Closing reflection. Think about your daily actions. Are they respectful? Do they show responsibility? You are part of shaping your environment. Let your actions inspire others to care for the law, rules, and spaces we all share. Module 4. Review and Reflection. Welcome to Review and Reflection. In this final module, we'll pause to review what we've learned about ethical leadership, community engagement, and civic responsibility. You'll reflect on your growth, share insights, and plan how to apply these lessons in real life. Reflection helps learning become action. Why reflection matters. Reflection allows us to connect knowledge with values and behavior. It helps us understand what we learned, evaluate our personal growth, set future goals. Through reflection, leadership becomes more intentional and values-driven. Ethical leadership, key takeaways. Ethics means doing what is right, even when no one is watching. Good leaders act with integrity, fairness, and responsibility. Leadership isn't about power, it's about service. You don't need a title to be a leader, your actions define your leadership. Volunteering and civic engagement, what we learned. Giving back connects us with others and builds stronger communities. Civic engagement includes volunteering, advocacy, and informed participation. Youth voices matter and can drive real change. Active citizenship begins with caring about your community. Respecting laws and shared spaces, core ideas. Laws are social contracts that promote fairness and order. Respecting rules and spaces shows maturity and care for others. Conflict resolution and empathy help prevent problems and build peace. Responsible citizens create respectful communities. Key behaviors of ethical, engaged leaders. Ethical leaders. Listen and communicate with empathy. Solve problems without blaming. Uplift others, especially when no one is watching. Take responsibility for mistakes. Reflect on which of these behaviors you already practice, and which you want to improve. How have you grown? Think about these questions. What topic impacted you the most? How has your mindset changed? What is one value you now hold more strongly? Growth begins with awareness. Use your answers to plan your next steps. My personal commitment, reflection prompt. Complete the sentence. I will demonstrate leadership in my community by. Think of something realistic and meaningful, like mentoring someone, starting a cleanup project, or speaking up against injustice. Write it down and keep it with you. Sharing commitments in pairs. Pair up and share your personal commitment. Listen to your partner's ideas and encourage each other. This helps build accountability and reminds us we're not alone in our leadership journeys. Class commitment wall, optional activity. Write your leadership commitment on a sticky note or card. Post it on the wall or board. This creates a visual reminder of the group's shared values and goals. You are now part of a community of ethical leaders. Leadership in everyday situations. Leadership is not always about big moments. It shows up in small acts like helping a new student feel welcome, standing up to unfair treatment, leading by example with honesty. You can lead in school, home, online, or on the street. Practical examples from youth. A student who started a food donation drive. A teen who stood up against cyberbullying. A young person who led a community art project. These are real acts of leadership. What could your example be? Reflection prompt, my example of leadership. Think of a time when you acted with leadership or ethics. What did you do? Why did you do it? How did others respond? If you can't think of an example yet, think of what you want to do soon. Small group sharing activity. In groups of 3 to 4, share your stories or planned actions. Encourage others. Listen respectfully. Leadership begins with courage, and sharing our stories strengthens that courage. Everyday leadership at school. Ideas include mediating a peer conflict peacefully, reminding others to follow rules respectfully, helping maintain cleanliness in shared spaces. Small habits create big change over time. Leadership in the digital world. Even online, you can spread positivity, report harmful behavior, share knowledge responsibly. Digital leadership is just as powerful as in-person influence. Lead with respect and empathy. Your leadership toolkit. Leadership requires tools like empathy, integrity, courage, responsibility. Keep practicing and sharpening these tools. Like any skill, leadership gets stronger with use. What is a resource guide? A resource guide helps you stay engaged after this course. It includes tools, links, and organizations that support ethical leadership, volunteering, and civic action. Use it to keep learning, take action, and inspire others. Key topics in the guide. Your guide may include tips on organizing volunteer events, conflict resolution and communication techniques, community organizations that need youth leaders, guides on rights, responsibilities, and ethics. How to use the guide. Use it to plan your own service project, find local or online volunteer opportunities, learn more about leadership and laws. Keep it for future reference. It's your roadmap for real-world leadership. Sharing the guide with others. Leadership spreads when we share what we know. Share the resource guide with a sibling, friend, or neighbor. Teach them something you learned from this program. That's leadership in action. Final thoughts and moving forward. You now have the tools to be an ethical, engaged, and respected leader in your community. Your voice matters. Your choices matter. Continue learning, growing, and leading. The journey starts now, with you.